All right. The gang is all here. Of Change Talk. There we go. I think I got Facebook back in order. Um, Welcome to another episode of Change Talk. First of all, I just want to say, um, I am so overwhelmed and grateful for all of the love and support that you guys have shown your girl for the release of this book. And for my birthday and all of that other great stuff. If you have not grabbed your copy of Reclaiming My Time, A Black Woman's Guide to Self-Care, you might not have one, not a signed one anyway. So 100 copies were made available for pre-order. And as of about an hour ago, I had 25, I think, of those pre-orders left. Only the pre-orders are going to be signed and personalized. So if you did not grab your copy of Reclaiming My Time, A Black Woman's Guide to Self-Care, you might want to run over to the website, or the link in any of the bios for all of the social medias and grab your copy, because there are some really huge things happening. You can also check it out on the website, www.awakeningchange.org. This project is it's everything, and the project I'll talk about later. That's not what we're talking about tonight. I think I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself. My name's Tiffany Jenkins. This is Change Talk. Every Thursday, I try to come on for a couple of minutes, about 15-20 minutes, to just share with you some tips and tidbits about a lot of things, ranging from self-care to mental health to leadership, things that I'm qualified to speak on, we'll say. A little bit more qualified in another week or so, but we'll talk about that later. Hey, Sister Ruth, how are you? So yes, I asked you guys to put some prayers. Yes, I am smiling big, Doc. I am smiling big. I asked you guys to put up some prayers because I really wanted June 11th to be my dissertation date, and it is my dissertation date. So June 11th at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time, I will be defending my dissertation, and will be Dr. Jenkins soon after. So much good stuff is going on in my world, that I really am overjoyed. I really am overjoyed, and I'm grateful. So yeah, you might want to get on the mailing list now. You might want to grab your copy of the book now, because Dr. Jenkins has some things lined up, and she might get a little busy, but still have time for our Thursday night chats. Tonight is one that is very, I'll say, close to my heart for a number of reasons. We're going to be talking about toxic workspaces, essentially, right? And I've had more than my fair share of toxic work experiences. And so when I saw the news, I'm talking about what happened with Naomi Osaka. She is the highest paid female athlete. And she said that, frankly, the press conferences were wearing on her mental health, and she felt like she needed to kind of step away from those, and then eventually said that she was going to sit the French Open out, which is major for them, because she's a huge draw. And regardless of what you think about her playing style, about the way she decided to make that announcement, there were some folks who were up in arms because she kind of announced it on Twitter first, or not Twitter, I think it was Instagram first, one of her social media platforms, and then she had a more formal conversation. It really doesn't matter. What was interesting to me was that here we have someone who has a very major platform who was saying, my job makes me sick and I'm tapping out, right? Yes, doc, after they got on her last good nerve. And I've heard some people say, well, are people just using mental health as like a buzzword? Is this kind of the thing that everybody's trying to lean on and make excuses for or whatever? And my problem with that line of thinking is, you don't know what is too much for someone. You know what's too much for you, right? You know the things that you've endured and that you've gone through, but you can't speak to someone else's pain points, right? So eventually we found out a little bit more context. Yes, I was just about to say that she requested some space first. It wasn't really granted, and so she had to protect her peace. Here's the thing. Unless you're her, you don't know how she felt, and you don't get the right to say how she felt, because no two people deal with things the same. It's the same as if we were talking about trauma. One of the things that we talk about a lot when we talk about trauma is that 6 people can experience the same event. One of those 6 people is going to be completely devastated, and the event can be something catching on fire, right? One of those 6 people is going to be completely devastated. It's not going to leave them whenever they smell fire, whenever they hear a crackling sound, whenever they hear the fire engines or see flashing lights. They're going to be transported back to that time, and it's going to make them feel away, right? Even if 4 or even 5 of the other people who were there and witnessed it feel nothing, to that person, it is very real. And it is a very visceral reaction for them. And so we got to be careful when we start talking about things being buzzwords, because just because it's not your experience doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, right? Because if we're going to say that mental health is a buzzword, then we also have to say that microaggression is a buzzword. We also have to say racism is a buzzword, because what you perceive as inherently racist, someone else may not. Right? What you felt as a microaggression, what you experienced in your workplace, you might feel a way about it, and everybody else might be telling you, oh, well, that's just the way he is. That's just the way she is. You wouldn't want anybody to tell you that and expect you to keep working in an environment like that. So why are we okay when someone is saying that for a long time, I have struggled with depression and this only makes it worse, right? The other thing I have an issue with are the folks. The other thing that I have a problem with are the folks who do things like, well, what do you think about that? Right? So Venus Williams was in a press conference and someone asked her, well, what do you think about it? Right? Almost in an attempt to kind of fuel this mess. That's the best word I got for it right now. To get something going and try to say, well, see, why can't you be more like her? Now, I just told you 6 people can be there and have 6 different experiences, right? But it's when you start doing this comparison thing, that's a little dangerous. And they found out when they messed with Venus. Because you know what Venus said? Venus said, well, I look at it like this. None of you can hold a candle to me. And you have to, I had it written down somewhere, but I got all my clinical notes from the day in front of me. Here it is. She said, for me personally, I love this. How I deal with it was I know that every single person asking me a question can't play as well as I can and never will. Like, not only can you not, you never will be able to. And then she said, so no matter what you say or what you do, You'll never be able to hold a candle to me. So that's how I deal with it, but each person is different. In other words, she had time that day. And we need to get to the point where when we're in these toxic situations, if you see a brother or a sister who maybe not handling it as well as you are, don't fall prey to that office gossip and become part of the toxicity. You just stand on what you stand on. You don't, it doesn't have to be a comparison, right? And so here's the other part to that. You also don't have to stay in a situation that is eating away at your well-being to prove a point to anybody, right? Now, there are folks who say, well, Osaka can do that because, what she missed out on in fine, what she had to pay in fines is more than what some people get paid a year, and all this other kind of stuff. But here's the thing. It's still a paycheck that she decided was not worth her peace. I don't care if you are making bajillions of dollars. If you don't have your peace, if you are not okay, you're not going to be okay. Because what would have happened is, and we know it, we've seen it play out in the media so many other times before. If she goes in and then she plays a horrible game, then everybody has everything to say about how horrible her play was. And she's supposed to be this top ranked athlete and she looked horrible. So how does that help her mental health? If she goes out and she does everything that everybody wants her to do, somebody is still going to be yapping at the mouth. So how does that help her mental health, right? She has to make the decision that's best for her, very much the way that you and I have to make the decisions that are best for us. It is not okay to keep telling folks to stay locked in these toxic situations because of how much money they can lose, about how people are going to look at them, about what other people are going to say. Because at the end of the day, if you're not well, your capacity to earn is gone. And if you're not well, you're going to be dead. There's no more earning for you if you keep pushing yourself in these toxic situations, right? So what do? You may not have the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out. You might have to come up with a strategy and develop a plan, but do it. You also have things like your EAP, Employee Assistance Program, that are available to you. You also have rights under your short-term disability, your FMLA, your Family Medical Leave Act. You can speak to your physician and say, this is a very toxic and very heavy work environment for me. I have 3 clients that I'm working with right now as we speak. I have paperwork on my desk right now for folks who are having very severe reactions to situations going on in their work environment. And I'm telling their human resources department that they need to come out. Some of them are coming out for a time to regroup, and then there are a couple of them who are coming out with the intention to find something else. But you have rights as an employee. We are not back in 18 whatever, where the slaves got freed. I know they translated some stuff and it's a couple clauses in there, but we still do have rights. And if you feel like this is something that is escalating to the point of racial profile, not racial profiling, racial prejudice, sexual harassment, those type of things, you have something called the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. Their job is to investigate things like this, get to the bottom of it, and make sure it doesn't happen again. You've got resources. You don't have to have all of the zeros in your bank account that Osaka has. You still have resources that are available to you. And it is up to you to use those resources, because the folks who are oppressing you are not going to give you all of your options and tell you all your rights. It's up to you to know that. And this is why I'm a therapist, but this is why I feel like therapy is so important in situations like this, because your therapist can become your advocate, can help you navigate the spaces that you need to navigate, can help connect you to other services, whether it's a support group, whether it's, telling you what your rights are under certain things, because we have to know some of this stuff, right? And Google is a beautiful thing. You can always Google it. You can always look it up and find out what the specific laws are in your state. What am I saying? The point of all of this is, do not allow a temporary situation like your work environment to kill you, because your job will probably be posted before your obituary. Understand that if you're not okay, you can't care for your family, you can't earn a paycheck, you can't do anything, because you won't be here anymore. So that's my take on that. I got on a roll and I started ignoring my Insta fam. I'm sorry. Let me check these comments out. Hey, Lachelle. Y'all killed me talking about I'm preaching. Um, yeah, she did give it to him. I think black women are tired. I think I think black women are tired because this past, what are we in now? 14, 15 months has not only been devastating because of, the obvious, the pandemic, but because black women are disproportionately affected by already being lower earners to begin with. This adds something else to it. And then when you add to that the racial tension that we've had over the course of the past year, it's just been a lot of icing on an already ugly cake. And I think that, just regardless of your socioeconomic status, there is a collective heaviness that folks are feeling, and it's not okay. It's really not okay. Yes, we do have to stop telling people stay on toxic jobs. Yeah. Oh, so Calm came through and supported her and anyone else who may get fined. I love Calm. I love them. I really do. Some jobs do have a union. That's the other thing. There are some jobs who have a union, but not all unions are created equal either. You've got some folks who are not really, you've got to have someone who's in touch, I'll say. If you didn't contribute to the hospitality committee, your family won't get a plate if you die. Ain't that true though? Hey, Katie. So I need you guys to understand that this sounds really bad, but I think you'll understand what I'm saying. We have to look out for ourselves. You can't leave it to anybody else. And I say all the time that the givers have to set boundaries because the takers never will. If you're expecting your employer to look out for your best interest, sis, you're sadly mistaken. The employer is a business and they're going to do what's in the best interest of their business. Don't believe me? Look at how many companies have issued statements last month because it was Mental Health Awareness Month. And they came out with these wonderful statements. They gave their employees massages or lunches or continuing education things, right? But some of those same workspaces have an unrealistic expectation on the work-life balance, what work-life balance is supposed to look like. In fact, I would go so far as to say these same places disregard the concept of work-life balance. They expect for you to be on call all the time, especially if you're in a social service type of setting. Particularly in this past year, therapists, I'm talking to y'all now, therapists, social workers, all of us have been under a lot of pressure in this last year, especially if you're in an agency setting where folks are expecting, and by folks, I mean your employers and organizations are expecting so much more from you, putting a lot of other demands on you. And what you're getting in return is just either you knew what you signed up for when you entered this field, because I've heard that a lot, or you get the signs about heroes work here and there is no support. There are no days off. We're starting to see a lot of research that's coming out about all of these healthcare workers who are having these major, major meltdowns because all this pressure was put on them to kind of be the hero, but they're not getting any support. And even my teachers, oh, she said education especially, even my teachers did not sign up for online learning. And then they got all of this other pressure to learn these new systems and then try and engage with families who weren't engaged when the children were in the building, much less trying to get these folks to get the kids engaged out of the building. It's a huge cluster. It's a lot of lip service. And so we can't expect these systems to look out for us. The systems were designed to look out for themselves. We have to take back our time, take back your energy, look out for yourself. You have sick days and personal days and vacation days for a reason. Stop giving those things back at the end of the year. Take a mental health day. Like, it makes no sense that people literally die with all of this time accrued. And what do organizations do? Well, they get really slick. And instead of saying, wait a minute, we're creating a different kind of culture here, what they do is say, well, if somebody else needs it, you can always volunteer it and give it to someone else. We're not going to create a space where it's a little bit less stressful and you don't have to take as many days. We're going to rely on you to create a system that helps your mental health. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense. I know from personal experience how much lighter you feel when you break free of a toxic space. And I'm not saying that that break is easy or that it's a smooth ride or that there's no difficulty involved. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is that when you do that, when you choose yourself, not only are you healthier, let's just start with that. Your blood pressure goes down. The headaches go away. That ulcer that you felt like you had, that indigestion that you had starts melting away. You start getting better sleep. Your mind gets clearer. You're not as foggy. You're not as tired all of the time, right? And then you can really start to see clear and see your way out. It's a process and it's going to be hard. It's up to you to choose what hard you want to rock with. Do you want to rock with the hard of slaving away, helping somebody else build their dream and live their happily ever after? Or are you going to do the hard thing of working through that transition to help you and your family build a legacy that you can be proud of? It's not easy, but it's worth it, right? So if your job makes you sick, understand that you have options, that you are at choice. You can choose how you want to get out of this. And it's not all sunshine and roses, but I guarantee it's a lot better than what you got going on. All right. Let me check. She's a union weak as heck. Yeah, you do stop crying every day. You stop crying every day and you stop wondering and questioning yourself too, because that's another part that comes along with it. She said, talk about it, dog. So I'm getting a lot of hearts on Insta. I'm getting, some good feedback here. I'm glad to see that this is resonating with you guys. If you need help, being pointed in the direction of some folks who can help you develop an exit strategy, send me a message. I might not know everything, but I guarantee you I know who to ask. And it's only when you have the support that you need that you can make these transitions. This is not something for the faint of heart. It's not something you want to do on your own. But I applaud Naomi for the step that she took in choosing herself. I always say, if it does not pertain to my peace and my pocketbook, it's got to go. So in that vein, Naomi chose her peace because she knew her pocketbook was going to be just fine. So inbox me. Your body needs a rest, so take your rest, vacation, or lounge at home. Yes. And that's a good point. You don't even have to go when you take that time off. You don't necessarily have to do anything complicated with it. Rest is so multidimensional. Sometimes rest just means you lay in bed a little bit longer and just kind of chill. You don't answer the phone. You might binge watch a couple shows, whatever it takes to help you refill your tank. All right. That's what I want you guys to do. And if you need help with that, shoot me a message in the DMs. Go on the website, www.awakeningchange.org. I would be more than happy to help you guys connect with some folks. I know some pretty amazing folks who do everything from help you with career planning to help you on your entrepreneurial journey if that's what you feel like you want to do. I got people. And I don't mind sharing my people with you because I know that they're good folks who do good work. So if you are listening to this and you feel like, this is resonating with you and you need help with that exit strategy, please reach out and let me be a resource for you for that. So I did go off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm a little bit over my 20-minute time, but it had to be said, people. It had to be said. I am up to here with folks spewing this garbage about, mental health being a buzzword and, oh, well, everybody just gets treated like that and you got to pay your dues. I am all for paying my dues. I've been in this field for over 20 years now, so I've paid my dues. But I also know that some of this was hazing, had nothing to do with me paying my dues. Whole nother conversation. We'll save that for another day. So if you have not gotten your copy of Reclaiming My Time, A Black Woman's Guide to Self-Care, you might want to go to the website. It's scrolling down below if you're watching on Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube, or my InstaFam. Right in the bio, there's a link there. Click on the link in the bio and it'll take you to where you can pre-order. There are only about 25 pre-order copies left. After those are gone, none of the other copies will be personalized. And all of the pre-orders do include some really cool goodies that I am really excited about. So I want you to get in on that. I've had questions about, is it just for Black women? I'm a Black woman. 95% of my practice is working with Black women. So that is who this is addressed to. But the principles are universal. And I've even had a couple of fellas who picked up a copy because they just want to know what the self-care thing is all about. So there are only about 25 more that are going to get personalized, and they will be going out very, very shortly. And then it'll be more widely available starting July the 30th, but those copies will just be the book themselves. They will not be, won't be signed at all, and they won't have all the other goodies. So again, thank you so much for hanging in with me. If you came in late, and you missed something, hashtag replay. Let me know your thoughts. I really want to hear what people think about this, and share this information. Like, send it to somebody else. This might be the push that somebody needs to walk away from something that is otherwise killing them. And if that's the case and we helped one person, then that's cool. Before I log off, I want to give a shout out to Triumph Tees for my t-shirt. It says procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another opportunity to do what you had time to do. I love this t-shirt. I have the quote on my wall. So check out Triumph Tees and get they've got a bunch of t-shirts, but this one is one that I love. Listen, guys, I do not take it for granted that you guys come and hang out with me every Thursday night. I really, really appreciate you. If there are topics that you would like me to discuss, you'd like to hear my take on, you want to have more information about, reach into the inbox or www.awakeningchange.org. Carolyn said, what? Say it again. Okay, I'm going to read it. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another opportunity to do what you had time to do. All right. Hey, Miss Linda. So if you came in a little bit later, and that's from Triumph Tees. Triumph Tees. They're on Facebook and Instagram and all that other good stuff. So thank you for joining me. Leave me your suggestions, your comments. If you happen to join on the replay, jump right in, participate. I love to see those comments come through, and share this video, and also share the YouTube channel. We want to get that bank of information built up. And yeah, it is deep, right? That's a good one. I think I've gotten everybody's comments. Yep, I have. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you guys next week. And until then,